Alright, so in a previous video I talked about how there's multiple energy areas in the body and how basically everything from your collarbones and stuff, I forget the real name for the collarbones, it's a medical term. Um, Clavicular bones, I guess, or clavicles, going to the bottom of the ribs, not necessarily the bottom of the sternum, but to where the lowest ribs are on each side. That's basically your body's furnace and stuff, but your liver's there too. And so if the rib cage protects those internal organs, the liver's not really an energizing organ and stuff, but it needs energy, which is why the body depends on fructose and stuff for one of its sources of energy. Um, but this is basically your body's furnace. It kind of works like a steam engine in a sense. Um, you can think of your blood as a source, as like gasoline and stuff, but different areas of your body need different kinds of energy, which necessitate certain personal needs for eating a certain way and living a certain way and stuff, because you have a body and stuff. I can't Bobby Fischer said this: if you separate your mind from your body and stuff, basically, everything falls apart. And he was right about that. He was right about that. Um, so, uh, but I think the exact quote is, "You cannot separate your mind from your body," or something like that. He was right. You can't. Um, so, what are some of your primary sources of energy? ATP, water. Water can be thought of as a catalyst. Water doesn't burn and stuff, but it's a really good catalyst. You can think of it as a sort of like potential chemical energy, right? Um, as like a reagent. Okay. Um, the brain uses psycho-emotional energy. Okay. The peripheral nervous system uses reactionary emotional energy and neuromuscular energy, and there's other energizing chemicals such as glucose and glycogen and stuff. The ingestion of glucose directly has a high glycemic load, though. For, I mean, yeah, you don't want to. Most forms of dietary glucose you really want to be cautious about. You just want to stay away from them. Glycogen is something that gets stored in the muscles. Okay, um, the muscles give off kinetic energy. Okay, so people who overemphasize the energy from the circulatory system or from the furnace that I was talking about, the body's furnace, and from the muscles and stuff, usually find themselves in quite a pickle and stuff. Like, okay, I've done so much for myself. Why is my life still a pile of shit? That type of thing. Secondary sources of energy. You have the stomach endocrine system, muscles, bones, and skin here. Um, some external sources of energy: compelling experience, strong stimulus. Um, Compelling experience can include adverse experience and stuff. You really want to do your best to avoid these. You don't need them per se, but sometimes you learn. Like it's weird. Like I guess a person has to be selective about that stuff. Um, you can get your energy from other people and stuff. What psychologists call extroverts and stuff. You know, they kind of omit that people are not really reliable or trustworthy, and you can't get comfortable around those people. They're usually disturbing at the least. Um, Environmental chemicals, yeah. Photochemic sources like the sun, moonlight, etc. And so, of course, the sun plays a role in the synthesis of vitamin D in the body, right? Comes at a cost though. The ultraviolet radiation, particularly UVB radiation, is quite damaging to the DNA. And it goes through pretty much your whole body. Typically, people notice this type of DNA damage when they start seeing birthmarks emerge that weren't there before, or sunburn. You know, uh, isolation. So this is this would be considered a replacement of energy, just a lack of social energy that you replace with something else. But what's the point? The point is you should always keep each kind of energy available to you for your health, well-being, and good life outcomes. And a person should never go to energy deserts because they can mess with you badly and stuff. You're basically in a place where you can only give off energy and not really make any new energy and stuff. You're going to be depleting your battery, so to speak. Um, and you could think of your whole body as a type of battery. Yeah. Electrocution, like or electrification, is actually a really nice source of energy too. It invigorates a lot of things and stuff, and catalyzes a lot of processes in the body. It's pretty nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think we covered the first topic of energy. So I'm not an expert in this yet, so I'm not going to try to make all these claims and everything or run with it. But I think this is an important topic and stuff for people who want to, make sure their diets are on track and they're not, doing the equivalent of chewing wood or whatever with what they're eating. Um, though, mind you, not all natural foods are good for you for many reasons. Um, but yeah,